Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today let's make a long sleeve ice-dyed geode shirt. I'm going to begin by using a washable marker and making a mark on the front of the shirt where I'd like for the center of the geode to be. It's not going to necessarily be this shape, but this is just going to help me keep track of where I'd like for the center of the geode to be while I'm tying the shirt. I'm going to grab that area that I just drew on the shirt, lift the shirt up off the table, and slide my hand down to the very end, and that's where I'm going to begin tying my geode. I only grabbed the top layer of fabric when I grabbed the fabric and lifted the shirt up off the table, and the part that's hanging down lower is obviously the sleeves of the long sleeve shirt. I want to keep this shirt as messy as possible when I'm tying it. So if you notice I've left the wrinkles in there, I didn't try to straighten it out. I am trying to keep it as messy as I can because I think whenever you leave the shirt messy as you're tying it, it forms all kinds of cool folds in the fabric, makes all kinds of wrinkles and little areas in the fabric, which just makes the geode look more natural. I'm using sinew to tie this geode with because sinew is wax coated. So whenever I take the sinew and I wrap it around an area, I'm going to wrap it on top of itself a couple of times, and then I'm going to begin to slowly pull the sinew, and I'll feel it catch. It's going to catch on itself and it'll tighten down. After it does that, I can either wrap another line on top, or I can go ahead and move on and wrap the next line. It just depends. Sometimes I like some of my lines to be a little bit wider, so I may wrap a second line right on top of this one. Whenever I have those lines that have tightened down on themselves, that forms kind of a waterproof barrier for the fabric. Because that sinew is wax coated, it's not going to allow the dye and any of the liquid underneath that line. So that should be parts of the shirt that remain white. Now, the fabric that I'm doing is a long sleeve shirt, but because I'm keeping it as messy as I am, some of my areas are pretty thick. If they're really thick like that and I don't take a little extra time to really tighten them down, I'm going to probably have a few of the areas in the middle that might still have some color, so they may not be totally white. Again, with a geode, I think that's perfectly fine. I think it's really interesting the more random you keep your geode shirts. And I love it when some of the lines are wider than others, some are really skinny, and some of the lines just kind of disappear. Because, in nature, that's kind of the way things go. They are not always perfect. And so the more random you can keep your geode as you're tying it, I think the better. And if you're wondering why I'm tying the outside rings going in toward the center, I think that looks better myself. Normally, whenever I tie geodes and I start on the outside and I go in toward the middle, my geodes don't look like bullseyes. If I start from the center and go out, I have a tendency to make them look too perfect and they look like a bullseye instead of a geode. So as I'm kind of moving toward the center of the geode, what I'm doing is I'm gonna rough the fabric up a little bit. Gonna do a few folds in it, kind of squish it in, pull it up. I'm gonna keep it messy because I really want that to look very unique. And that's one of the fun things that I love about doing geodes is each and every geode that I've done always looks very unique. You can't make two of them look exactly the same. When I get to the center of the geode, I'm going to actually split this fabric by taking the sinew down in between, divide the fabric with my hand, take the sinew down in between, and I'm going to tie two different centers. You can do this as many times as you want to with the fabric. You can actually divide your center into more than just two. I'm going to tie one side, and as I'm getting out to the very, very end, I'm really going to like poke that fabric down inside. I'm going to try to make it as messy as possible. I want some really interesting shapes inside the center of this geode. After I'm finished tying the shirt, I'm going to go ahead and place it aside and allow it to dry out completely. I find that I get much better color saturation in the center of a fold that's as thick as this one if I wait until the shirt is completely dry to apply the dye. If you'd like a little bit more information about this topic, I have a blog post out on my website that addresses this topic, and I have a link down below this video in the description to my website. I also have links for a lot of the products that I've used when I made this shirt. Before I go ahead and place the shirt aside though, I'm going to kind of try to straighten it out. It's a little easier to put the dye on top of these wacky shapes like the very end, which is the center of the geode, if they're laying a little flatter. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to kind of straighten this out, see if I can get it a little flatter, and then I'm going to place it aside for several days and allow it to dry out completely. The color palette for this shirt is one that I've used before. This was a special order, and it's a special order for a long sleeve shirt, and the shirt is a little bit larger. It's a size 4X. So I wanted to show you kind of the difference between doing a geode on a short sleeve shirt and on a long sleeve shirt, because I get asked the question a lot, well, what do you do with the sleeves and how do they look? So I thought I would show you on this shirt. For my setup, I have the shirt placed on top of a rack, which is over the top of a long plastic tote. And I'm using some silicone cake molds to wrap around the shirt to make myself an ice barrier. I have links to the silicone cake molds down below this video in the description. To keep the silicone cake molds up close to the shirt, I'm attaching them to each other, placing them right up next to the fabric, and then I'm taking some wooden clothespins and attaching them to the metal rack to hold the silicone cake molds up close to the shirt. Then, because the shirt is completely dry, I'm going to take some soda ash solution that I have inside of a spray bottle and lightly spray the top of this shirt. That's going to help the dye stick to the top a little bit better. The way I'm going to apply the dye to this shirt is I'm going to be really random. I am going to place dye directly on the sinew lines. I'm going to place more than one dye color in some of the areas that were formed by the sinew lines. I'm going to really try to be as random as possible. I'm using a color palette of grays and blacks and red. And so I'm going to start by applying one of the color palettes and then apply the other, and that'll kind of help me keep track of where my, say, blacks and grays are and where I put my reds. Like I said, I'm trying to keep it pretty random. Let me tell you the colors that I'm going to use on this shirt. For the grays and blacks, I'm using black, Stonehenge, and charcoal gray, which are all Dharma Trading Company colors, and cotton black from Pro Chemical and Dye. The black and the Stonehenge are both what are called special order colors. Those you can still order from Dharma, but you have to buy in a really large quantity. So if you don't want to do that, you can usually purchase these colors in a Facebook group called Tie-Dye Supplies Marketplace. I also have a link to that group down below this video in the description. I like the grays and blacks because they usually have a lot of really cool color splits. So I think they bring quite a bit of interest into these geode shirts. A lot of color variation too. Okay, so for the reds, I'm using black cherry, fire red, red wine, and cardinal red from Dharma Trading Company. I'm also using wild cherry and berry cherry from Dye Spin. I'm using Bordeaux, turkey red, and barn red from Pro Chemical and Dye. And if you don't have this many colors, because I know this is a lot of dye colors, feel free to use what you have. Just mix it up. I'm obviously having to use each color I have more than once on the shirt because I have so many sections and I am repeating the colors several times. You can either just repeat your colors more or add in some other colors for variation. Like I said, these geodes are just, each one of them looks so unique. They're really fun to kind of experiment on and mix colors and see what they turn out like. Once I have all the dye on the shirt, I'm going to go ahead and place an additional sprinkle of dry soda ash over the top of the dye, and then I'm going to place on a layer of ice. Once I have all the ice on the shirt, I'm going to go ahead and place it aside and allow the ice to melt. And after this first layer of ice melted, I came back and ended up adding a couple more layers of ice before allowing the shirt to process. This fabric is really thick, and I placed a lot of dye on top of the shirt, and I did that purposefully so that I don't have to go back and add more dye. All I'm doing is adding more ice to the top and forcing that dye down through the shirt. So after all the ice melted for the last time, I allowed the shirt to process for about 48 hours before I began rinsing it. And then to rinse the shirt, I took it to my utility sink and I began rinsing it in cold water to rinse out the soda ash. Then I gradually warmed the water up to hot, and I continued rinsing in hot water to try to rinse out the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. I also went ahead and untied the shirt, and then instead of just continuing to rinse for a long time, I usually soak my shirts. What I do is I run some really hot water in my utility sink, add some Blue Dawn dish soap to the water, place the shirt inside, and allow it to soak. When the water cools off, I'll change it out and I'll continue that soaking process until my water is remaining almost clear. Then I'm going to place the shirt into my washing machine and wash it on a hot water cycle along with a little bit of Dharma's Professional Textile Detergent. So after the shirt was washed and dried, this is what it looks like. Okay, so what do you guys think? I think this one turned out really cool. I really love the center of the geode. I like the funky shapes that turned out in the center. I have, two main centers and then another little kind of satellite center. I like the mixture of the grays and reds together. The grays just have so much color variation, and so I really like using those in this. On the back of the shirt, I ended up with a geode up on the shoulder of the shirt too, which wasn't really intentional, but I think it's a really cool addition to the shirt. I like all the different shapes and the way the colors flow together with this shirt, and overall I think it turned out looking really cool. So I've added in a photo of what the short sleeve shirt that I made using the same color palette looks like, so you can kind of compare the two. I think they're both really cool shirts, and the color palettes are exactly the same, but they do look very different. The shape of the geode in each one is very unique, and I never remember exactly the way I applied the colors because I try to do it so randomly. So, on the short sleeve shirt, I have a few of the darker colors on the front, and I don't know, I think they both look really cool. But as far as what the difference is between like a short sleeve and a long sleeve shirt, really on the long sleeve shirt, I just end up with more of the rings and the lines on the sleeves, which of course I think looks really cool. I just don't think you need to overthink it when you tie a long sleeve shirt. Just kind of incorporate those sleeves down into the rest of the design and it'll just kind of flow together like they do on this shirt. So overall, I really love this shirt. I think it turned out looking really cool. But what do you guys think? Do you enjoy doing geodes? Do you have fun tying them? I do. I love tying geodes and dyeing them because I think they turn out so cool. But let me know what you think in the comments, please. And if you've enjoyed the video, I sure would appreciate it if you would like it and if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'll hit the bell, you'll receive a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.